Good evening, members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. Um, for those tuning on over stream, YouTube, and Facebook. And for those who follow my short TikToks under HCS895, I'm your host for this evening, HCS. Uh, Tonight, we're talking about things we do that can or affect us physically, spiritually, and mentally. That's what we're talking about here tonight. That's the topic. Which there's so many things that can affect us, affect our body. You know, we all have to deal with it daily, ever since we're small all the way up to now. So many things that can affect us. So what I'm gonna do right now is share this live feed to groups that I share to. Shout out to Paranormal Roundtable, Brother Josh Turner. Uh, Shout out to them. Hopefully, they're doing well in high spirits. But it was a hot day in Texas, brothers and sisters. That's all I can say. And still feeling the heat right now here where I'm doing the live. It's a very hot day. There we go. We're about all shared out, brothers and sisters. One more share here. And we done. How you doing, jumpsuit paranormal? How you doing, Andres Carizales? How you doing, main house? Hope everybody's doing great. Yeah, I feel good taking a break. Last night I didn't go out, but we had some things that happened to us during the day. We had gone to this place called Topsy Ranch. I went to go see some exotic animals out there, and as we were out there, we heard like something hit us from underneath the vehicle. We checked, we didn't see nothing, and we had like a battery thing happening, and we drove that way. Drove like I don't know how far that is, pretty far. We drove it with just the with that battery thing on. When we got home, the AC wasn't working, so it was hot, and we drove it that way. We even stopped at Walmart just to check the battery to make sure the battery was good, but they did say there was something wrong with uh, the alternator. So we drove it home. I was praying all the way home and stuff. As we got home, her son Xavier was checking out the vehicle and said, "Hey, Mom, I think I found the problem." So he went out there, and we're thinking there's like something hanging or something because we heard like a something hit underneath the vehicle. Uh, the reason the AC stopped working is because the serpentine belt was completely off. The serpentine belt that runs everything, right, was off. That's why the AC wasn't working. But thank God he's good with his hands. He's a good mechanic, and he got it fixed. Got a vehicle fixed. But yeah, and the heat is no joke. So when I got home, I was thinking about doing the live, but it got me real good, and I just decided I went to sleep. I said, okay, I'll wake up by 11, I didn't wake up till like around 8 or 9 in the morning. That's how bad the heat got me. But here we are. Normally on Saturdays we don't do lives, but sometimes I'll do a surprise live. Especially Saturdays is the day. Sometimes we go out and stuff. And we did have plans to go out yesterday also, but we didn't make it. We're going to go to a quinceañera, a Sweet 15. We got invited, but the vehicle wasn't working, so we had to postpone that or cancel that. But here we are, Sunday, or should I say Monday, early Monday morning. Hope everybody's doing great. Chicharrones. And on the way over here, I had to call my brother. Hey man, I'm passing right by where you live. If you can follow, just come on this ways, follow us because we're running. I don't know if the battery's gonna make it all the way to where to Temple. And he said okay. Then he called me back and he said his truck didn't want to start. You know, so he's been having issues with his truck now, dealing with the battery. And about the only places that he goes is to his job and to this location where I live. And I'm thinking it's his location. Something's happening here. That's draining the batteries because it was doing that to this red car that I have. The same thing, but now that car is working. It's just the heat is no joke. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right, but it worked. Normally when because this happened to me before, in that nature. But I just thank God. I kept praying, and we made it home, and there was nothing overheated or nothing, because I guess the battery had enough charge to run it. But normally when a alternator gives away, it drains your energy, the battery. So at any given time as you're driving, your car's going to stall because it drained the battery power. But yes, it was able to make it. We were able to make it home safely. Yeah, and that's what the show is about today. That there's a lot of things besides the DDN and things of the spiritual realm, or things of other natures, cryptids, aliens. There's a lot of other things that are more dangerous, right? That things that we do. One of the things we're talking about heat. If you're not drinking enough water, you can. If you don't drink enough water, you can go into dehydration mode, and I've seen this happen, brothers and sisters. So it's very important. If it's hot, even if it's not hot. I remember when I was out there in Saudi Arabia. We would drink a lot of water, and even at nighttime when it was cold, we would drink water because it would get real hot there. So we was always drinking water, and I've seen people get dehydrated. I can share a story with you about that too, where I seen it. I seen it happen on Fort Hood. We was training. We're near in between uh, two ranges. It was ordered by Clabber Creek. We were underneath the shade tree, and I kept on drinking water. I had filled up the water jug. It was hot, very hot day, and there was this guy that was he had barely got a promoted to sergeant, and I even had more time in service than him. But he became sergeant first because I was new to the company or whatever, right? So I would tell him, "Hey, man, you need to drink water." The difference between me and him is that I'd already been to a combat environment. I already been in war, and I know what I was telling them. I said, you need to drink water because you don't drink water, you're gonna dehydrate. He wouldn't listen to me, right? He wouldn't drink no water. Uh, so then one day, the following day, we're up there and he's on top of the tank, and he's saying something, and the tank is in the shade and everything, but then all of a sudden he just drops. He falls from the tank and he lands on the ground. When he lands on the ground, his eyes are all back white, his lips, a little bit purple. Now looking at him, then I started seeing his skin crack. Uh, I'm trying to remember his last name was what was his name? Ooh man, I don't want to say his name. Can't remember the top of my head, but he was a pretty heavy guy, and he fell down and his skin starts cracking, right? So when somebody's in dehydration mode, their skin starts cracking. You're not supposed to give them the water or drink or nothing. You're supposed to just put a little bit of water. So I grabbed the water jug that I had just filled up and I poured it on him, on his body, so his skin wouldn't crack too much, right? But his skin started literally cracking. That's how dehydrated it was. Your body needs water, and you need water in order to stay alive, right? So they called the medics, and I went with them. We took off and with the medics as we're going back to Fort Hood. We were taking them to the hospital. The medic vehicle gave out. The radiator just steam started coming out of it. So we're stranded there. They called another medic personnel. Well, and I think that by then that there was an ambulance that was coming out there. And I was trying to tell the guys to give them an IV. They wouldn't give them IV. The medics said that they wasn't going to. So I was trying to. I had I was a combat lifesaver, so I knew what was going on with them. But this, like, the medics choked, they panicked, and I said, "You need to put an IV on him, man. Give him an IV. He needs an IV, and or else his body's gonna overheat, and he might have a stroke or heart attack." So after a while, they finally was able to put one on him. So we took him to the hospital, and he's in the hospital. I'm there with him, telling him everything's gonna be okay. This guy was so dehydrated that they gave him 3 IV bags. That's how badly dehydrated it is. And in the military, if you don't take care of yourself, they they can give you an Article 15. And as one of the things, uh, it's taking care of your body. You know, working out. That's why I still work out to this day. You have to stay active, but he's lucky he did not get an Article 15, but because that's your body, right? So he's lucky. I'm very lucky that he didn't get an Article 15. Oh yeah, jumpsuit. Or I seen that boy, man, and that's in Texas. It was a hot day, but if you don't hydrate, you know, you will. The It's not a good. I mean, when you see the people's skin cracking open, when I seen that, it's like, oh man, I think I was like 22, 23 when I seen his skin cracking like that. It's his body was fixing to give out on him. That's why it's very important to really take care of your body. But lack of water, that's what our body is composed of, and mainly water, right? You need water in your system. For those that are not drinking water, you got to get that H2O, man. Drink it. Yeah, we had a good time. We took my our granddaughter. We took her granddaughter out there. We're thinking that she's never been there, but then all of a sudden she says that she's been out there. That uh, yeah, that she's been out there, but we have fun, you know. They have all kinds of deer and stuff, but it was a hot day. Oh yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I named the title here. Things we do that can affect our bodies physically and spiritually. Yeah, you can have a heart attack or stroke when you're dehydrated. You get like stomach cramps real bad. Freaking, uh, you get like the shakes. You're dilated. Your eyes get dilated pupils, and it's just very bad. So it's very hot here in Texas. That's why I waited a little bit. I was gonna do the live at like around 11. I could still feel the heat here. So you know what? Let me go take me a shower. Then I'll do a live. Try to refreshen up. But yeah, it was a very hot day here in Texas. Being out there in we were guarding the borders over there by in Kuwait. We fought. We're in the Battle of Medina Ridge and stuff. Well, that desert is hot as hell during the day, but then at nighttime it gets cold as hell. So you gotta pick your poison. You want to be in the heat, or you know you either way you're gonna be in both. You're gonna be in the heat during the day, and then at nighttime you're gonna be freezing your ass off. Excuse my French, because that's how the desert is bipolar. Hot as hell during the day, cold as hell at night. Like the early morning, like the hours like between maybe 6 to 8, 8:30, still fresh, but then boom, the sun comes out strong. Watch out, it's gonna be hot. You know, I never drunk so much water when I was out there in the desert. Talking about liters of water, like 6, 7, 8. I try to drink as much water, and when you drink so much water that you don't want to drink no more, uh, you want to stay hydrated. You got to drink the water. I've seen it where we got the land nav courses on Fort Hood where the soldiers, like the ones that go to B knock, A knock, or even those that go to PLDC. As you're climbing the rank, you got to take certain courses. One of the most dangerous courses you can take, especially, will be the land nav course. The land nav course, because it's hot as hell in Texas when they do the land nav course, and if you get lost, they give you a map, a compass. You got to know how to do the math. It's not like nowadays that they have this other equipment that you just turn it on and it'll tell you exactly where you're at. It'll tell you where to go. Uh, this landing course, you have to use a compass and stuff. And there was soldiers that went up getting lost out there. They say if you can find your way to stay in place, that somebody will find you, right? They'll come looking for you. If you don't make it back to if you don't make it back to the point, or the area where you're supposed to meet with everybody. I've seen it throughout the years where some soldiers get lost. They send a search party for them. Uh, the body can't. stay too long without food or water, right? I think there was a guy that was missing for about 3, 4 days, and by the time they found him, it was too late. You know, especially with the heat, no water. But there's this little things that have charcoal in them nowadays that if you could put water from a creek or whatever, and it'll take it'll clean the water or stuff like that. Things, but back then they didn't have that kind of stuff. But yeah, we've lost a lot of soldiers due to that. So as water is, I think, one of the main things that we need in our body. And if and if we don't take care of ourselves and drink the water, then we're harming ourselves. But there's so many things, even with water, that you got to be careful. We got one Navila here. Man, I was going to write a list, but I said, man, we're just going to talk about it freely here. What are the things that you know of that if you don't do, that you can harm yourself? Eating, right? That's another one too. If you don't eat right, you can harm yourself if you don't eat right. Uh, but the question is eating right. It depends. I think age wise, right? As you're young, you do a lot of things. You eat all kinds of things, and then as you get older, it, your body starts acting different, and you really have to watch out what you eat. But food, the foods that we eat, I mean, with the prices so high right now at the grocery store, sometimes it's cheaper to go buy something at the fast food restaurants, but then the fast food restaurants can be dangerous for you. But it's cheaper than buying food at HEB, you know. So eating right, or eating, there's so many things that can affect us, especially when it has to do with, I'm going to say it right now, with diabetes, eating too many sugars. There's a lot of things that have sugars. You got bread, you got tortillas, especially for la raza, the corn tortillas, the flour tortillas, the arroz, the rice has sugars in it. Any fideo or pastas, even that has sugar in it. Uh, Fruits have sugar in them. I haven't drunk a soda in a very long time because it's got sugar. For those that don't know about groceries, every item that you buy, if you read it, it'll tell you how much salt it might have. It might tell you how much sugars it has. Candy has sugars. Ice cream has sugars. Man, I'm staying away from a lot of stuff. But today I broke that today because it was so hot when we went out there again today, and I wanted to treat my granddaughter, and we uh, we stopped by at Dairy Queen, and we got her a little blizzard, and I got me a blizzard. Then I said to myself, man, I shouldn't have, but you know what? It is what it is. But yeah, we have to watch out with the sugar. Sugars is very dangerous, brothers and sisters. Sugars also can cause uh, strokes and heart attacks. It can clog your veins and stuff like that. Just like the sugars or even fatty foods. Too much cholesterol that can affect you as an individual also. Oh yeah, with the potatoes, doesn't matter the potatoes or baked potatoes, French fries, hash browns. Potatoes have sugars in them. And I tell the doctor, well, what do you want me to eat? If everything has sugars, crackers have sugars. You know, it's like just about everything has sugars. So I try my best to stay away from them. But like for example, today my wife decided to make some tacos. So I ate me some tacos, and the tacos were in a corn tortilla, and I ate a couple of tacos. So that's okay. Yeah, pick your poison. So I try to stay away from like carnivals. They got those freaking what do you call those funnel cakes? Can go to the arcade because they got a or you're driving, you see either Baskin Robbins, you see freaking them vendors selling the Mexican ice cream and stuff. It's like, man, I look away, you know, go to the grocery store and in the aisle, you go to the aisle, there's nothing but candy. I say, okay, I did pretty good. I didn't buy nothing. Then you go to checkout, and the checkout has freaking sugar all around me. Like, golly, I still eat paydays and Snickers, and paydays. I like the paydays, but when I look at the thing, how much sugar it has, it's like, oh no, I need to stay with it. Even though it was my favorite candy, I had to stay away from it. Trust me, sugars can affect you also. That that sugar's got to come out somewhere. It can affect your eyesight. That you just start seeing blurry, uh, and then it can come out through other areas because the sugar's got to come out, and when it comes out like venom in a sense of a way, because it comes out uh, as a bacteria. So what you're gonna do is wherever the sugar is coming out, you know, it likes coming out a lot of like sugars growing in your growing area. Imagine that. So what do you have to do? What kills bacteria? Antibacteria. So you got jockage that you can use. Just letting you know. Jockish, if the sugars try to come out in between your toes, then you got the athlete's food because it's got antifungus, anti-fungi, and that'll protect you of when the sugar comes out. You get to spray some on yourself to protect you. It'll kill that. It's like a flesh eating bacteria that comes out of your body, and it can mess you up pretty bad. I will jumpsuit, but they tell me to stay away from the sugars. From rice, I'm staying away from the rice. But then say, okay, let me go get some Oriental food. That's healthy. Well, not really, because if you go buy Oriental, guess what comes with it? You get either rice or noodles. Besides like the broccoli and beef or the whatever you want. Comes with some kind of rice and some kind of so. It's like, man, a lot of temptations. Yeah, I get scolded by the doctors. You got the regular doctor, then I got the pharmacist, and I got the nutritionist telling me this. Everybody's trying to get me to do something, and that's like, you know what? Screw this. I'm just gonna do what I'm doing, and I don't care what they're saying to me. I'm just gonna stay focused on what I'm doing. One thing that they always want to do, what I see in the doctors, and people that work uh, in the medical field, they always want to give you the worst of the worst case scenario, right? And to me, that's like trying to give you uh, some bad juju. So I always tell them, they come at me, they're telling me, "Hey, you're leading to a heart attack, or you're leading to a heart attack or stroke." Even though I'm staying away from sugars, they give you a bad case scenario to try to get you to take their medicines. You know, so I've been ignoring every time I talk to somebody in that field and they come at me in a negative way. I ignore them, especially if I'm taking care of myself. You know, it would be a different story if I wouldn't be taking care of myself. But I've been watching what I eat and everything. You're welcome, Sister JL. Oh man, it's like they would tell me, if you buy a burger, don't eat the buns, just eat the meat and the lettuce and tomatoes or whatever. It's like, what kind of burger is that if we don't got no buns? You know. And so, well, the bread has starches and it's got sugar. So okay, they say if you eat pizza, just eat the top of the pizza. So you buy a pizza and you just eat like the cheese and the meat, and you leave everything else. So I was like, well, what kind of pizza is that? If I'm just gonna eat cheese and the meats, and don't eat the breading or nothing. But I understand they're trying to look out for my health and stuff. I think the best way to eat is like in little portions when it comes down to that. But yeah, you get old and stubborn as you get older. Yeah, but yeah, I still be watching what I eat. Okay, let's talk about other things that we do that can affect us. Well, I know I don't do this. I know many people do this. Smoking, smoking. A lot of people smoke, and I've seen the side effects of people that are uh, craving nicotine. When I was in the military, we can mix it up. We can say nicotine and coffee, because I used to see that in the military. When a person didn't have their cigarettes, the nicotine, man, you better stay out of the way because they will be on a rampage. The nicotine and the caffeine, if if they don't have the caffeine, they'll be a whole different person. So that right there is kind of like actually like I'm not going to say a habit, but it's kind of like an addiction. When you're craving for something and you need it and you don't have it, and you become a whole different person. I've seen people become mean, a-holes when they don't have their coffee or nicotine in their system. But once that they do have it, then they become themselves again. But it's all here. It's all mental. They might crave the taste in which it can affect them. We know that nicotine, right, can affect the person physically, and I'm more sure mentally if they think that they need it to survive. So mentally, but it is physically, mentally. I would say spiritually too. What do y'all think, brother and sister? Spiritually, the spiritual of it that it can affect them, I would say, is because they're inhaling the smoke. But what goes in as people are inhaling, right? We know that the unseen forces, as they're moving in spirits, they target the senses. So where they smoke and they're inhaling the smoke, well, an unclean spirit can travel in that way. Or when they inhale and puff it out of their nose, an unclean spirit can go to travel through there. It can affect the eyes. So yeah, this it can affect in many ways. The nicotine, and not just nicotine, of course. There's all other kinds of drugs that people can smoke, but all that can affect. Let me look at the comments here. I think I was backed up a little bit here. Jumpsuit says I quit smoking last year. Nicotine is one of the most addictive substances on earth. That, yeah, I felt. Let me talk a little bit different here with the people. When I'm talking about everything today. Not to target anybody in any kind of way, shape, or form. I just seen it, man. I seen my grandfather. I seen him. He was always working. Every Saturday and Sunday, he would eat a big old steak. You can see the medium rare. Every set, just eating. He didn't believe in going to the doctor or nothing, right? So they would eat this big old steak every Friday and Saturday. I mean, yeah, Saturday and Sunday steaks. Then one day, that as his friend came, he's already up there in age. I'll tell you, like around 65, somewhere around there. He's wrestling with his friend because even though he was his best friend, they were playing with each other like if they were kids. So they start wrestling and they're wrestling. As they're wrestling, then my grandfather, he just grabs his chest and he falls back, and that was it, man. He had a full blown heart attack. I was right there when it happened. Uh, he would always tell me because he would drink beer, he would smoke cigarettes, and he would tell me, "Don't be doing this," or he'd be smoking. I said, "Don't be doing this." Even though he let me take a puff of a cigarette. He would give me a little bit of beer when I was like 3 or 4 years old. He would always tell me, "Don't be doing this. Don't do what I'm doing." It's like, "Don't be doing this. Don't be doing this." But yeah, eating. He had a heart attack. Those steaks that he ate were pretty big. We had Sister Madeline, Sister Cynthia in the house. Yeah, I was when my grandfather passed away. think I was like 8 or 9 years old. If I'm correct, or was I in junior high? Uh, I'm thinking either fifth grade or sixth grade, one of the two. When my grandfather passed away. Oh yeah, he was always, you know, my grandfather. He was a character. I will see him drink the beers that he would drink was Slits and Coors, but the cigarettes he liked smoking Winston's, sometimes Marlboros, but Winston. When he was didn't want to waste too much money on cigarettes, he would smoke the Buglers. He would roll his own cigarettes. Because he would get mad every time they raised the price on the cigarettes. So he said, I'm gonna start rolling my own cigarettes." So he would buy the Buglers and make his own cigarettes. Yeah, you have to stay active daily. I had to give me that rest, man. Yesterday was a good day for me of rest. You know when you're so tired that you can't move your neck left or right because you're not getting enough rest. I was able to sleep real good yesterday. Yesterday was a I slept real good. Just catching up on my sleep. Doing this late night lives. When we go like 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, that's a lot. But sometimes I just go with the flow of things because if the topic is good, then I go with it. Especially uh, at nighttime, we have viewers, 40, 40, 50 viewers sometimes higher like when Brother Josh Turner jumps on. Sometimes they bring some of his paratroopers with them. But yeah, man, it's very exhausting. It's another thing right there that we can talk about. Things that we do that can affect us. Not enough sleep. Not enough sleep is another one. What happens when you don't get enough sleep, brothers and sisters? Your body's not resting properly. You're working your brain too much because the brain's got to rest, right? The whole body's got to rest. So if you're not sleeping properly, then you're causing tension somewhere within your body. There's somewhere it's getting affected. I used to do that a lot when I was in the army. When we were training out there, we'd be training about 18 hours a day. If we get 2 hours of sleep or even two and a half, that's a lot. There was times that they would tell us, okay, go to sleep. You know, we had to do, radio watch. But yeah, there was times that we would go to sleep like around 10:30 and radio watch. Where people have to monitor the radios every hour. So people would take turns doing that. There's times we get sleep, but there was times where we'll just train. That if you got sleep, it's where you're sitting down, where you're training. You don't get to pull out that sleeping bag and lay down in the sleeping bag. It's one of the sleeps where you sleep on the go. You know, but yeah, the lack of sleep can affect you uh, in all kinds of ways, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Uh, because you might be in Spanish we call it necio, which would like anxious, or like if you got anxiety, because you're not getting that rest. You start seeing things, start seeing shadow figures because an opening, not getting enough rest is a spiritual opening. You start hearing things out of the ordinary, like when you have a lack of sleep. La Dundita would know because she's always working the night shift. You start hearing things, seeing things with the lack of sleep. Uh, Sometimes it feels like your spirit jumps out of your body and then it jumps back in your body because you're you're trying to stay awake, right? Uh, but yeah, sleep deprivation is very important. But when you're not getting enough rest, a lot of things can happen in that nature. So it's kind of like imagine people that have sleep paralysis or and what do you call them? Night terrors and stuff. Imagine that you're awake, but you're still very tired because you're not resting your body. So your night terrors come out to where you're at, into your environment, and they show themselves to you because you don't want to go to sleep to face your night terrors, right? But not it's not that you don't want to face them, is that like when I was in the army, you have to stay awake. If you're not awake or they catch you asleep, that's out of Article 15. Especially if you're pulling guard or you miss a radio watch, yeah, you get in trouble. So yeah, imagine that you're so tired that you fall you fall asleep standing up. But then if somebody comes and you hear the footsteps, you're like, hey, how you doing? And you try to play it off, right? Or you're so tired that your body drops by itself on the ground. Then the hit on the ground, you stand right back up. That's like getting no sleep. That's dangerous for you. No sleep makes you hallucinate. Makes you hear disembodied voices. Oh yeah, I know sister Madeline. Yeah, no sleep, paranoid schizophrenia. I'm looking at the comments here. I think there was a gentleman, if I remember, because I seen an interview with this person where he could not sleep. So he had all kinds of things wrong with him. He wouldn't sleep. All these things that I'm telling you about, schizophrenia, um, paranoia, hallucinations, will happen to this individual daily. They did a documentary about him before he passed away. He could not sleep. I just can't remember the name of the guy. As you got older and got older, if your body can't rest, eventually, if you it's going to shut down. Well, all in all, I think this guy, they had him like locked up in a place where they were monitoring him for he gave his body to science while he was awake, while he was still live in the living. He wanted for tests to be run on him to use him as a, you could say, a guinea pig, just to see what they can find, just in case if there will be other people like him that they will be able to help him. A lack of sleep is no bueno. He'll be like a zombie. I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy. Want to stay up to SE near to SE to spiritual encrypted encounter. And I just play a, a piranha. Yeah. When you talking about corporate? Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about other things that we do that can affect us. Uh, drinking, drinking liquor and beer. Eventually, that'll get the best of you. El hígado, the liver, it affects your liver. That right there can dehydrate you too. If you're a constant drinker and you're drinking more beer or more liquor than you drink water, that can dehydrate you also. Sorry, Rebel, no treats for you, buddy. Need to go buy some. We got rain. Man, I seen a lot of people that I know falling out, man. No, some I had a friend that he was at the one of the hospitals in Galveston. It's like I can't remember. It was a Saint something hospital over there, and he was there because of his liver. You know, he was always drinking. So they said that he was there because they were going to give him a new liver, right? So he's there, and they're doing the operation on him. They found out that he had cancer, so they couldn't continue on with the procedure because it would have been a waste of the liver. So that was it. They he didn't know he had cancer. So I lost him. He was a good friend. And this is like, what was it 15 years ago? No, longer. Like 20 years ago. This when I lost him 20 years ago. He was a good friend of mine. Uh, Imagine that, right? I seen and there's some other things that we do that we didn't even know that can cause us since we're talking about drinking water, things that we do. Well, there was certain pipe that had asbestos in it. A lot of plumbing that they used to do back in the day of the pipes that go into the water plants or the waters that we would drink had asbestos, in which asbestos cause cancer. So you hear it nowadays, like people that was stationed in certain bases that the main plumbing and stuff, the pipes had asbestos in it. That's one thing, and there's things that we don't know about at that time. But asbestos is one of them, and the other one would be uh, the lead in the paint. The lead in the paint was making people hallucinate, seeing things and hearing things. I would see that happen in the military when I came from overseas to the states to Fort Hood. I seen a lot of soldiers where they took their lives, where the ambulance would come and I could see them coming out of the billets, them in the thing with the white the blanket covered over them and stuff. Then I would hear that some of the soldiers were committing suicide, and we were trying to figure out, well, how would somebody just want to commit suicide? Well, the lead in the paint. That was a side effect of it, was suicide. Uh, where a lot of soldiers took their lives, and it wasn't their fault. It was the lead in the paint that that was on the walls that it would make them act a certain way. You know, the asbestos is everywhere, and the asbestos was in the billets. Imagine that the asbestos in the billets. They we used asbestos for insulation, even in the walls and stuff. And then that's already bad enough. And then adding that white paint that had lead in it to the asbestos is already making you hallucinate. That's just a bad situation right there. The guard shacks that were at the mortar pools, they had asbestos. When you're young, there was a weird smell in there all the time that I couldn't be in there. I would always go sit out of the guard shack or go walking around. I would try to stay out of it because there was a weird smell to there. But yeah, I was exposed to all that kind of stuff. Sorry to hear that, Sister Neva's Angel. Oh yeah, there's a lot of old bases that had asbestos and the lead paint caused hallucinations. You know, and this is things that are not drugs that people can take to make you hallucinate, but it's just I guess what they do. The side effect of it is very dangerous. I think even the water fountains that you would drink water out of, even those had asbestos in their lines. I know back home they they tore down the whole water plant we had and rebuilt another one because that water plant had asbestos. I mean, yeah, asbestos everywhere in those pipes. Oh yeah, I've been exposed to everything, Sister Neva's Angel. I was around, drink water out of the water fountains the water was good. Just I remember when they tore down the billets, and that's the main reason they tore them down was because of the asbestos and the lead in the paint. Hallucinations. It makes me wonder. if I was being affected by it, I think I had to share the story with y'all. If you don't want me to share the story, this when I was in the military, there was, if y'all want me to share a story uh, that I'm thinking it could have been, now that I think of it, it could have been what was happening to me uh, because I lived in the billets. All those billets that tore down, I lived in those billets. And maybe that's why a certain event happened to me one evening. It could have been a hallucination of of the asbestos and the the lead and the paint that could have done this. But since I've been fighting spiritually all my life, you know, uh, I thought that's what that was, but maybe that's what was happening. Somebody say share it. Well, I live on the third floor, and on the weekends, some of the soldiers bring their girlfriends and stuff like that, and some of the girlfriends that they were bringing had children, right? So I know it was like late at night. I had just I always get my boots polished, so I have to mess with them on Sunday. So that it was a Saturday. I wasn't even going out like to the clubs or nothing. I was just in my room, and this evening, I was polishing my boots, and I went to go lay down, laid laid down on my bunk on top of my bed, and as I was laying down, I could hear, it's called a, what do you call it, vestibule, or it's kind of like when you go into the billets, into the every floor has a vestibule, but you have to open the door and you close the door, and then there's four rooms. Well, I heard that door open and shut, and when I heard that, I heard little kids laughing, and I said, "Man, that sounds like little kids." And I'm looking through the little peephole of the door, and I see nothing out there, right? And I said, just my imagination. So all during the week, I would hear the door open and shut, and I could hear these kids laughing, and that's like, man, it's just my imagination that these kids are here. They're laughing. Then that Saturday that I'm talking about, uh, the door open, and you hear the little footsteps like they ran, and then on my door you hear boom, 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 boom. They're like, what the? I was like, it sounded like little kids running to my door, and they're banging on the door. They were banging on my door, but the banging didn't sound like a little kid. It was like a boom, 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 and then the doorknob wiggled. So I said, okay, next time they come here, if they come again, say I'm gonna get on them, and I'm gonna tell them to take me to where their mother is. So here it comes, and you hear their little feet running, and then boom, 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 boom. Man, I'm open the door. There's nobody there, and I'm seeing that the door like little bit open, like if somebody had walked to the door. So I walked all the way down the duck pond to the first floor, and I don't see nobody. So I was like, man, that's fucking weird. Why is this happening? So I'm there in my room, and I said, screw it. So the Sunday comes along, and I said, okay, I'm just gonna wipe my boots off, and I'll be ready for formation in the morning. So I got my little lamp on, I'm sitting by my desk, and there's a in between the buildings, the billets, there's like a little quad, like a square, right? So as I'm sitting down, I could hear the little kids laughing from across of where I'm sitting down, from the room that's across me, which is on the other side, on the other side of the building, right? So I say, all right, I know where you're at, little efforts. I grab my stuff, I go down, go all the way around, and go up to the floor because it was equal to me. I go to that door, and I'm bah, 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 bah. Well, I'm banging the hell out of the door because I could see I'm banging the hell out of my door at that door, and it's like, hey, I need to talk to you. I'm banging the hell out of it, and then the door next to the door I'm banging on opens up. It's like, hey, what's going on? So I'm trying to talk to the dude that lives in here because those little kids, they're not letting me sleep at nighttime. They keep on running in my best of view, banging on my door, and then took up running. So I'm here to talk to him, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Nobody's in that room. Nobody lives in that room. It's empty." I said, "What'd you say?" I said, "Yeah, it's empty. Nobody lives in that room. That room is nobody in there. Nobody lives in there." So I just looked at him. I was like, "What the f?" So I'm walking and I'm like trying to figure out what's going on. I go upstairs and I close the door. I'm looking towards the room to see if I hear any laughing, and I just shut off my light and go to sleep. Well, as I'm asleep, I'm sleeping, and in the stage where you're fixing to go to sleep and you're not completely sleeping, but you're in between sleep. This is what I seen. Did not see no little kids anymore. Was in the foot of my bed. I seen this tall figure standing there. It had to be like 7.5 feet tall. It looked like it had a cape, but I don't think it was a cape. I think it was wings. And it was standing there looking at me. Uh, as it was looking at me, I was able to wake up from my sleep and get up. When I got up, there was nothing there. But I prayed of what I seen. To me, it looked like something demonic with wings, or could have possibly been what people call the Nosferatu. But that's a story I wanted to share with y'all because I was staying in the billets that had the asbestos and the lead paint. So, what do you think about that story? Do you think that it was something of the unseen doing that, trying to attack me? Or do you think it was the asbestos and the lead paint that was making me see and hear these things? What do y'all think? Me, I'm a spiritual guy, and the same things. I'm not living where there's no asbestos, but things like that happen to me all the time. I see shadow figures, but things like this have been happening to me even since I was younger. But exposure to that, could be or it could not be. That's why I was tell people attend your Heavenly Love Foundation and be ready to tie, bind, and rebuke in the name of Jesus Christ. That's how you know with what you're dealing with if it's real or spiritual. You put it to the spiritual test. I've been exposed to all kinds of things, brothers and sisters. I just thank God that I'm still here. I got hit by a blood agent. I got hit by a nerve agent. I got exposed to anthrax, being out there in the front lines. Real boots on the ground, not like some other wannabe channel. He said he calls himself boots on the ground. He don't know nothing about no boots on the ground. Yeah, I was in the front lines. They were blowing underground obstacles and nothing but white powder. Anthrax was coming out of there. Uh, we had gotten, I got exposed to blood agent, which I think that's why I might have the blood clot on my leg. Yeah, I've been exposed to too many things, but you know what? I thank the Heavenly Father daily, and that I'm still here, and you know, I continue moving forward. I'm not gonna let the things that I've been exposed to. Another thing I got exposed to was pesticide. Um, Working in the fields, you got to think about this, brothers and sisters. They use pesticide for citrus and vegetables. So some of the stuff that we'd be eating could have pesticides in it. Say there's for pesticide, you got short term and long term. Depends how many years you work with the pesticide. But what the pesticide does, brothers and sisters, it causes a lack of oxygenation to go to your brain. So the brain is not able to send the proper signals to your body, in which it can cause all kinds of things: heart attacks, strokes, cancer. If you're not getting the proper oxygenation going to your brain. No, I'm just talking about a lot of things right now. Maybe I'm talking too much, but yeah, things that we did. I used to work in the fields when I was a kid. I remember working in the fields, taking out the weeds with a hoe, and we could see the guy in the tractor with the pestilence, or should I say the pesticide tanks, spraying the spray, and the smell is there, and it's a nasty smell, which we're being exposed to it. Well, that's what the government is doing to us right now, brothers and sisters. Makes you wonder who they're assisting, right? You got the phones that can affect you, the towers that can affect you, right? Because we use the phones, we use it for the TVs. Now, I got a question for you. Do you think the 5G towers and all that, if they vibrate at a certain frequency and you have your phone on, your computer on, your TV on, or even if you're in a big screen theater, do you think that if they vibrate that they 5G tower a certain way, that those devices that we use could be used as a portal? That's a question that I got for y'all. Do you think those devices can be used as a portal to send something out or to bring something in? I think they've been doing that. They've been doing that. I think they've been doing that. That's why you've been getting certain areas that have had no power with your phone. Like what happened to us, that the phone is not working and all this, and you start hearing like certain rings. You see this shadow figures, and you're seeing you're hearing birds. When you're looking, there's no freaking birds, but you're hearing the sono birds, right? I think they're messing with his towers and sending a certain frequency to affect us. They've been doing that. Like I said, you got to stay prayed up, brothers and sisters. They're seeing how many people they can affect. I think I read an article or somebody talked about a certain, I think something dealing with iron or something in our bodies that they're trying to affect us a certain way. Yes, yes. Oh yeah. If a whistle can give a command, uh, I know they use something like that on us when we're in the front lines. The satellite was sending a signal into the area that we're in which it made the people or the soldiers go into a, how should I say, uh, I'm trying to say the proper word without disrespecting my brother in arms. Uh, they send a signal through the satellites that make the soldiers, I would say, like savages. That would be the word. The beast mode, the savage mode. Not the people were acting like animals, but just like a locked mode to destroy the target, to destroy the enemy. Uh, no mercy or whatever. I believe there's something that like that was being used. Plus, I mean, what was already there. I mean, we had the djinn flying around out there, jumping into from person to person, affecting them. You know, sand, sand can affect you too. Um, when they attack us with chemicals, they can do it early in the morning when the dew is setting, or if there's a sandstorm, they can drop chemicals in the sandstorm, and the sandstorm will carry the chemicals and affect the people a certain way. Yeah, I remember something like that with that it made I could see my friends and they're acting a certain way. Even when we come back to Germany, man, there was a lot of destruction where I think we're at a fest and soldiers are breaking windows and I mean just messing everything up. They're jumping people. Like they still got they're still in that like the signal is still affecting people. So I know we're in combat and but for them to go to a different country and treat them like they were treating the enemy, yeah, they were like in killer mode, you could say, just locked on, in which I seen them do a lot of damage to the Germans, not just to their property, but to actual Germans, where this is soldiers were in combat mode. You know, no, the djinn was already there, Sister Cynthia. There's the spirits that I talk about, like the DDN, disembodied demonic Nephilim, which were watchers, They were the Nephilim, the offspring of of the Watchers. The vessel got destroyed, and they're amongst us, right? Which they're demons. You know, they've been around already. What attracted them to that environment is common sense, brothers and sisters. What attracted to them, of course, it's war. Why? Because people die, and it's nothing but hatred and anger if people are going after each other. Especially if they had something locked in like that, sending a signal to destroy, then yeah, the Jinn and other things have the right to be there. The Jinn, the Legion, I mean, you name it, because of the situation. That's why I always tell people you get straight prayed up. I had prayed the night before I went into combat, and I prayed as I was driving going into combat. Uh, in the war, I prayed all the time. I'm gonna take my faith and believe in Jesus Christ. How you doing, Clint? So I was a driver, and the space that I could look was like this. Had little wipers, but the glass there is real thick. It's hard glass, but it's like they made it so if a bullet hits it, it's not going to crack, but it's very thick. And I could see a lot of things. Another thing that being in the military, other things is the exposure to the like the agents and the saber rounds. The one of the main gun rounds that we use for the Abrams. Well, that had what do you call it? Depleted uranium. Those rounds, uh, depleted uranium is one thing that they have that we got exposed to also. I always get letters. Hey, you've been exposed. We believe you've been exposed to this and this and that. It's like, yeah, yeah. So it's an automatic thing that they're there. No difference than when families are arguing, family members, married couple, whatever, that they're arguing. It attracts unclean spirits because that's like a free entry to go into their homes. If they're mad and angry with each other fighting, then he has some kind of jurisdiction to be there. Oh yeah, all that, brother. The Mine was the blood agent, the siren, the burning pits, the freaking oil wells, uh, the those the bunkers that engineers exploded while we're still out there. Uh, the chemicals were there. You know, the shots, things that we do, shots that we take could have a side effect. As we know, there was a certain shot that everybody was taking a couple of years ago when they were running scared for their lives because there was supposed to be a, a pandemic of some sort. Those shots have affected people in a very badly way. We lost a lot of people in that nature, family, friends, uh, grandmothers, grandfathers, fathers. Where they go in, I lost my cousin Victor to that. They go in a hospital and they don't never make it out. Fear could be an opening of that, right? Say, hey, you got so and so. People go into panic mode, and that's a spiritual opening right there. You can get spiritually attacked by believing. I had a friend that I bought minerals from. That was from the exact town in China where this plague was created. This virus was created. Right. He told me, "Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't believe in the bullshit that they're saying. They're trying to play y'all. All they're trying to do is try to get you to take their shots. And this is what they did to a lot of people in the United States. They made them take these shots, and a lot of people pass away. But fear is a spiritual opening, brothers and sisters, where the unseen comes, and tries to find a way in. That's why you have to maintain your heavenly love foundation daily. It's very important. I know I've been talking here for a while, just blabbing away. So, how about this one? Something that we all do. How about when you think too much? Thinking too much is a bad thing. When you think too much, because when you're thinking, certain images can cross your mind. And the images that are crossing your mind, they're not good images. So you go into prayer or whatever. But yeah, certain things that are shown to us can affect us. Yeah, they were used as guinea pigs, brothers and sisters. I remember I took a shot on my left buttock cheek. It was a female that gave it to me, and she looked at me and she said, "Oh, nice, nice ass." I was like, "Oh shit." Uh, she was playing around. I said, "Don't worry about it. This is not gonna hurt." Man, she stuck me with a big old needle, a big needle, and then it felt like I had some kind of jelly or peanut jelly on my left buttocks. That was a side effect. Man, that it hurt so. It was so uh, aggravating that the pain that I had after that shot. It was bad. See what do we got here? Shelly, how you doing, Sister Shelly? He's hanging in there, yeah, Sister Shelly, because when that happened, that happened when I was 3 and he was 5. But he's hanging in there. Oh man, that sucker. I mean, if I were to tell you that you told me you took it like a man, you took it like a champ, I don't know how to feel about that. That was a big, big shot, and they gave it to every single one of us. That went up, that was fighting the front lines. Yeah, yeah, you gave me a good compliment. I didn't want to take the shot, but they forced me to take it. Law Morgan says he turns pale as a ghost and almost pass out from just looking sometimes. Oh, wow, Law Morgan. So you have the fear needles. There we go. There's another one. It's another good topic to talk about. Things that we do that can affect us spiritually, physically, mentally. The fear for those that have fear in them. Right, that's a spiritual opening. Getting scared over every little thing that you see. You people that are afraid of spiders, people that are afraid of snakes. Fear is another one because you're afraid of what you're seeing. That's a spiritual opening. And you start believing in what you're seeing. That's another spiritual opening. But yeah, that can affect you too. Fear. Have no fear. Have no fear because Jesus Christ is with you daily. All you got to do is just pray. Do a little prayer. Uh, tie binding, take authority over what's around us or around me. We tie binding rebuke in the name of Jesus Christ. And it will flee. There's my bro right there. What's up, bro? Yeah, out of raise of hands here, and be honest, who who here? There's 50 people. How many all fear something? You have some kind of fear of something. Do put a little ghost if somewhere in your life you feared something. If something scared you, whether you've seen something, you had a dream, something realistic. How many of you have had an experience where you're afraid? Fear is a spiritual opening, brothers and sisters. Oh, so nobody's afraid. So you telling me nobody was afraid uh, of the COVID? Oh, there we go. Sister Shelley says she's afraid of something. Sister Madeline. Let's see what else we got. Needles, spiders, gold. Yeah. Sister Joy says she fears uh, the Heavenly Father. I've seen people fear needles. Uh, certain people is a little bit of joking here. They fear taking a shower, like they're afraid of the water or something. Some people fear because they don't speak in truth. They rather lie to you. I seen somebody. This guy here, he's a tryhard. He wants to be. He's out there supposedly being grouse on the boot, boots on the ground, and he says, "I see something. I see something, man. There it is. It's a big beast. You know what it was? It was a Bambi. It was a little deer. Talking about it's a big beast. It was a deer that came out on the video. I was like, what the hell is this guy on? There we go. Uh, Drugs, right? They can affect your mind, affect your body, your spirit. It can affect you mentally. Uh, a lot of side effects, bad side effects. Hey, bro, I'm gonna drop the link here. You wanna jump on here with me? If you're on, I think I'm doing pretty good here. Just talking to y'all. Without the panel and stuff. The panel of people that normally come here. The fear. It's sometimes the fear that somebody has is self-inflicted. It's self-caused because they're thinking too much. Sister Shirley says, "I fear, I fear, I fear." Mr. Boots on the Ground was running away from a little Bambi. I was like, "Come on, dude!" And he wants to call himself Boots on the Ground. Get out of here! I got a better name for him. Baby Huey on the ground. I was laughing, man. This guy trying to act like he's in the military and like he's doing something and he's running away from a little deer. Get out of here, dude. Yeah, I used to be in that environment all night long in the woods. He's running away from a little freaking deer. If you're listening, corn on the cob, I used to sleep on top of my tank with freaking cougars on top of the trees, jumping around on top of the trees, and you're running away from a little Bambi, from a baby deer. Get out of here. Calling himself, calling himself boots on the ground now. He wants to because I got warrior here. He wants to copy me. That is a native warrior. Get out of here, bro.
Hey, what's up, bro?
What's up, bro? We're having a good show here tonight. I said, let me bring my carnal on here and so we can talk about this. We're talking about things that we do that can affect or spiritually, physically, and mentally. How about I know one. Let me read these comments.
They posted some YouTube videos of a deer beating this guy, boxing him and shit. Though.
Oh my god, it was a baby deer, man. This is talking about the beast all around me. Corner Cub, you listening, man? If you was in my army, man, I would have slapped the crap out of you. The fuck's I would have slapped the crap out of you. That made you do push-ups as punishment. Being afraid of a little Bambi, Chipanocha.
Hello, everybody.
Man, we used to. They just don't know, bro. That dude running away from a little deer. What the? You want to call yourself boots on the ground? Then you change your name to native warrior? How about native scaredy cat? Can I call you? Can I call you? I'll give you a native name. How about you scared shitless? You scaredy cat. Yeah, he was like, I hear him. I hear him. They're all around me. The beasts are around me. All you see is a little freaking deer run away.
Uh,
What kind of crap is that? What? Better yet, so we're talking about things we do that can affect our minds, spirits. Were you high on some shit, bro? Were you smoking the crack again? And I think that's what y'all get the Leviathan. There's another name for the Leviathan, which is the Kraken. Were you cracking last night when you made that video? You're like pretending like there was monsters around you. The only thing there was a little Rudolph, little dude. You seen the video, bro?
no.
The cucaracho, the dude, the one that trolls us all the time.
Yeah.
They're like, they're all around me. You must have been high on some shit.
Oh man.
He was high on some shit. I mean, he was high on some shit and he stunk like shit because he don't take no baths. So when he's smelling, if there was a little bit of a wind blowing and he's smelling some kind of beastly smell, well, he's smelling himself because he don't take no showers. Personal lack of hygiene.
That's a defense, bro. He smells so bad he won't get attacked. He will attack you. He's safe.
Oh my god! Even the deer thought he was a troll and he took off running, man. It could smell, it smelled like culo. Somebody said, okay, here's some of the names they made for him. Chief running from raid. Me no lie. Oh, let's see. Jack. Okay, here we go. Me no lie. Shift shitting bull. What the hell, Sister Madeline? Leviathan.
Oh boy.
Shift sitting on here. Uh, yeah, I think he was high on some shit. He was smoking a pipe. The beast was around me. The only thing that was behind him was Larry.
Oh boy. Remember how when we were kids, bro? As soon as the morning would come up, we would go outside and start killing the snakes. We would
Yep.
put things down to make traps for the snakes, and then go kill them every morning. Then we would be all happy because we were killed a lot of snakes.
Yeah. The deer smelled him and he couldn't stand the smell and ran away from him. If there was beast in there, I can show you what the deer is, but I ain't seen no beast. I just seen it real quick. He's talking about they're all around me. They're all around me. The beast, the beast. Somebody call my mama. They're all around me. They're all around me. Mall security, I need help. I need backup. Mall security. Mall security, I need backup. Let me send a smoke signal. Let me send a smoke signal to my tribe. I need help. No, that dude was high on some shit. Yeah, that was a funny video, man. He's about to try to act like he's all hardcore and all this stuff when he's all bent out of shape. His belly hanging all the way down to his knees and shit. Freaking, and then he runs away from a little deer. You believe that, bro? It wasn't even a full. It was a baby deer. I seen those baby deers at the Tachi Ranch. Little freaking deer, man. It had to be like around 2 feet tall. Well, maybe he ran away because he thought it was a duende riding the deer. How about we just say it for what it is? It is no offense to you, Mister Chicken Cleghorn that I got up here. How about we just call him chicken shit? You seen him back up with his camera, bro, like like something was attacking him.
Oh boy. When did he put this video out?
This video, I don't know, a couple of days ago. I think he might have done it. I don't know when. I just seen it and I thought it was funny as hell. Trying to act all chingon and shit, and he's afraid of a deer. Golly. Man, yeah, it was a fawn. It was a baby deer. Okay, let's get back to the. So we can say now, after we just talked about this guy pretending he's a warrior, or he called himself the Native Warrior. Man, them Cherokee people or whatever the command. What is it? No, over there they're the. Where is he from? From Oklahoma. They're called shit. What kind of natives are they? They got a certain name. Choctaw. The Choctaw natives are gonna come looking for you, man. And they're like, man, we're gonna have to toughen up this boy. He done embarrassed us. And he's not even native. He's a wannabe. Well, you giving the natives a bad name, bro? Because the natives that I knew, they were warriors, real warriors, or hunters, right? Dude, running away from a baby deer, they would have been making it. Man, they would have banned him from the tribe if he was from a freaking tribe. They would have banned him from the tribe for being afraid of a baby deer. We're gonna call you Panocha. That is your name. A big acorn tree. No, big acorn tree Panocha. That's your new name.
Madeline. Hey,
Sister Randall. She said, Dirty Ike is claiming to be Cherokee because he sat in a Cherokee Jeep one time. Oh, man. His name is Redman because he took Redman chewing tobacco, tasted it one time, so he's called himself Redman. Remember that bro? The chewing tobacco?
yeah,
We're gonna call him Scared Shitless. I left my boots on the ground. He was so scared he jumped out of his boots and took off running. Concocha. Concocha. Oh my god. Anyways, what? Okay, let's go back to topic. We know fear is for some people. I guess fear of deer is a very bad for them. I've heard of people fearing clowns, people fearing spiders, snakes, uh, but deers. A little Bambi, for God's sake. What's so scary about a little deer? Here we go. So we talked about fear. What other things that we do that can affect our state of mind, or physically and spiritually, bro? I'll let you name one. Name something.
things that to you fear. Do you know those geese? The geese would always chase you, trying to get you.
The what, bro?
The big geese, those big geese. It's like a rooster, but it's the geese. I knew some people who had geese. Those geese would chase you, man, trying to get you.
Marquez in the flesh says, "I'm fear of redhead chicks."
Clowns, redhead.
Things that we do that can affect us. How about we already talked about some of the drugs, right? Well, drugs is just about everything. Something that we do that can affect us, and I'm gonna let the viewers name one things we do that can affect us spiritually, physically, or mentally. How about worrying? Wouldn't worrying be one? Worrying gives you depression, gives you anxiety, gives you a lot of this when you worry about things. That could be something that can affect you, but when you worry too much. I would see a lot of people stressed out all the time because they will be worrying about this and that and stuff like that. But I'll let you share a story, brother, of the topic of fear. See what you a story that something that you recall that happened to you dealing with fear. Not and don't say that you're scared of deer too, like certain people. Something dealing with fear. Can you hear me, bro? Are you there?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
there? Can hear you.
yeah, I'm here.
Something dealing with fear. Tell them the story, bro, about when we were fighting when they sent us to the store.
Well, we already knew when the dark came, when it would get dark, we already knew that what was out there would be scared of the dark shadows.
But it wasn't just shadows, bro. Tell them how it looked. Share the story. I would see like a wolf with red eyes. Oh, it's a conure. He wants attention. Who wants attention, bro?
The conure. They were asking me what kind of bird is it. I said it's a conure. He wants me to let him out, but he'll start biting. But yeah, fear of. I mean, when we were growing up, it was kind of rough. But we got used to it. I mean, we would go and, like I said, we would go in the mornings when we would live in ranches, and we would have to clear the house, so we would make traps for all the to kill all the snakes and stuff. We would have to chop down the tall grass. We would kill snakes, and we would put things down so the snakes would get under there. We would go check it in the mornings, and we would be killing all the snakes. That's how we would clear out the ranches. Yeah, the little bites, they hurt, especially when you go in there to feed them, or sometimes he'll be real nice to you, and then you'll be rubbing him on his neck, and then all of a sudden he turns his head real fast and bites you on your fingertip.
Makes you bleed, bro.
Yeah, sometimes he got me on my bicep when I was stuck my hand in there changing out his food.
You got a scary story you can share with them of fear?
Hmm.
You've been in situations that something scared the crap out of you.
No, just when I felt like only only like two times that I really felt real fear when we were kids, and or after our mother passed away, when you guys came and told me that everything was happening, that would happen with us at night, with the door and the windows and the walls banging and the floor and the ceiling, that went over there and I opened the front door and I played it off, but I felt the evil presence real bad, and I just played it off and pretended like nothing was there, but I could feel it. It was there, and that I hadn't felt that presence in my life. Another time, I felt it again. Um, but I've only felt that presence twice. I can I felt evil, but the strongest evil presence that I felt was that one time, and then another time in my life. But I wasn't afraid. I could feel something just real strong and real evil. But I just played it off because I didn't want to scare you guys more than what you already were scared.
Somebody asked me a question here. How do you guys handle fear uh, in combat zone? You just don't think about it. You just stay focused on the mission. But yeah, you gotta zone. You gotta literally have no fear. But if like any thoughts of fear or something comes into you, is you have to pray against it. And because that's the enemy that wants you to be afraid. So he can attack your vessel spiritually. So you have to have literally no fear when you're in those combat environments. You got to set it in your mind that you're going to survive. Set in your mind that no matter the situation, you're going to find a way to get out of the situation. It's a mind over matter thing, uh, but not everybody can do it. Because that's how a lot of people have PTSD from being in certain situations. And I understand how. I mean, PTSD comes in many shape, way, or forms. But yeah, you can have no fear. You gotta have your faith in Jesus Christ because He's our protector, our avenger. But yeah, when I went out there, it happened a long time ago, back in 1990, 91. It was 1991 when it happened. But I've been living with that all my life. There's people that don't make it out of a combat environment. I hope I answered the question to the combat environment, real combat environment, not pretending you're battling a freaking little baby deer, a fawn. A combat environment. You've been in those situations too, bro, when there's been enemies around you and you have to be alert. One of the things is be alert, right? You have to be alert of your surroundings. Always be alert of your surroundings. Be ¿cómo se dice in Spanish? Al alba, no?
Yeah, that's how you say it.
You got to watch your back, watch around you, pay attention of people's movements and stuff like that. You know, you got to remember there's sometimes just in a combat environment you're just not facing the enemy that's out there. You're facing the enemy that's within around you. There's some the people that might dislike you, and in their minds they're like, hey, the first chance I get, I'm gonna try to take this guy out. Tell him, brother, about the guy at the taqueria. What he was talking about. He was from Vietnam. Of the guy, something that
Yeah,
happened
we
between
were
him.
talking about the guy who was
Tell him the story. What he
he
said.
he, he was talking about a guy that was uh be treating everybody bad. He was like a bully. And he would be bullying the other soldiers and stuff. But some guy that lost it uh, shot him to death, blew him away. Friendly fire.
With a 60 cal, no?
Yeah, with a 60 cal. Yeah, I mean, but that's how it is. Bullies, they get away with it till somebody has had enough, and then they learn their lesson.
Yeah, you always got to be alert of your surroundings. You can't feel comfortable with the job that you're doing, uh, especially with the equipment. Uh, can't think you're an expert of that because it's when you think that way, when accidents happen, when you think that you know your job real good, that's when accidents happen because they forget to be paying attention of the surroundings. Um, Another thing to prepare yourself for like in a combat environment will be to lose communication with your loved ones that are in the rear, like not read any letters from anybody or save them but don't read them. Uh, when I went out there, we had no communication to talk to anybody, but that's the last thing you want to do. You want to stay focused on the mission, so you don't want to listen that somebody's listen to the problems back home and stuff because all that will take away from you being uh, alert, being ready for combat. It takes away from it. Especially if you're daydreaming, your mind is thinking of what you read or somebody, you're thinking of back home, and you're daydreaming. That's when things happen. You're not paying attention to your job, what you're supposed to be doing. All right, here we go. Yeah, they don't pay attention to their surroundings. That's what a lot of them not here no more. And I figured that's the problem with the military nowadays is they're not paying attention. They don't want to follow orders, right? They don't want to listen to the person in charge. They want to raise a little cards. I feel this way today. I feel sad. I feel upset. Sarge got me upset. You know, they want to feel special by complaining how they're feeling, but if they only knew that that's not going to get you nowhere in a combat environment. You got to be ready to fight. Listen to the people in charge. that's giving you a game plan that how you're going to survive. Yeah, you get a lot of people. So I'm kind of glad I got out when I did because I seen the army changing. It went from the videos I used to wear to some OD green stuff. How about another fear? There's some people that fear water because they don't know how to swim, right? Uh, and of course, where swimming comes drowning. So there is a lot of people that are afraid of water, going into the water. We know what some Spanish people are afraid of water. Let's see if somebody can get a lucky guess why Hispanic people are afraid of water. Is a trivia question. Why are Hispanic people afraid of water? When I mean water, I mean like sources of water or like lakes, creeks, rivers. If somebody knows this answer, put it here in the comments. Why would Hispanic people be afraid of water? I think my brother might know the answer. I'm not sure. I'll let them see if they
Let
can figure out.
let's see if they know.
Yeah, let me see if they know. We're gonna give the audience an opportunity to answer that question. Why Hispanics? Get somebody Marquez, somebody the drinking cerveza.
Andres got it.
So, Andres Carizales says the Moni woman. I don't know no Moni woman. Oh, we got a winner. Sister Never's Angel said La Llorona. There we go. Got it. La Llorona. I think my brother had an incident with La Llorona too, no, bro?
No, she would always come to the house when we were kids, and then somebody would always die on the corner.
Yeah, every appearance La Llorona made, somebody died.
I could always hear her crying. I could hear her far away because we lived right on the edge of town, so I could hear her down over there in the canals crying.
We know Andres Carizales, baby, wanted the full name. I mean, you talking about Moni woman, and like we could say she's like sounding like uh, Moni. That's what you said, Moni. But we're talking about like Llorona. Llorona cries. See, there's a difference between a moaning to a crying. Maybe you would have said the weeping woman. I would have said, okay, we're getting here somewhere. Or you could have called her how they call her in other countries. Uh, the That's what they call her, the whaler, La Llorona, the whaler, not the whaler, like Roach Camp, La Ballena, not a whale, the whaler, like Wailer, the whaler. Andres Carizales says, anyone wonder if the fears we experience this now or how we die in past life? What do you think, bro? You want to answer that question?
I don't know, bro. I know some people who are scared of roaches and scared of bugs.
Of bugs.
Yeah, they'll be freaking out with bugs,
with roaches.
bugs, crickets. They're scared. They're scared of them. Even birds, big birds. They're scared of the things that they don't know what they are.
At the canal by her home. Yeah, I seen her. I woke everybody up in my home that day. Things that we can. Yeah. I know we're getting a little bit out of contact, but man, that was creepy that day. When I ran into when the Llorona happened. I was asleep in the last room. My brother Jack and my other brother, they were sleeping on some bug vents we had in the room nearby the restroom, bro. Remember the bunk beds?
I was the last one to get up, and I saw
And
everybody just
it
huddled on the floor.
it was raining outside. It was raining outside, and I was asleep, and a low pitched sound woke me up, and my ears were hurting. I was like, man, they were ringing real bad. Uh, I look outside because I could hear something in the distance, and it was raining real hard. I could see the light from the neighbor's home. So I want to go back, lay down, and next thing you know, I hear the woman crying. And she's wailing in the distance, and I'm like, it sounds like a woman crying. So I go lay back down, and as I'm laying down, I could hear her crying louder as she's coming towards the home. Yeah, I could hear her crying like. And I woke up like, what the fuck is that? I'm looking out the window. I said, nah, it's just my imagination. So I want to back lay down. As I'm walking to go lay down, I hear louder. It's just getting closer to the house. And then by the door, she's standing by the door of that room, the outside door. She's like, she said, mis hijos, my children. Man, I got up. I go there, check the bunk bed, and I tell my brothers, like, Llorona's here. I think you said, bro, you're no Llorona. And you hear, passes by the window. Man, they jump off them bunks. I don't know, I think Jack stayed in the bed. I'm not sure. But Robert's in it. He took off running, and we're running to by the kitchen. As we're running, freaking, we see her passing by the window of the kitchen. She's got the like the bridesmaid with the what do you call it? The veil over her face. She's. And I said, Mom, the Llorona's here, Llorona's here. She like, duérmete, puerco pendejo, there's no Llorona. And I got my little sister, and I got my little sister. And then here, she passes by the window. Just
Yeah.
passed by the window. My mom got up. So I get my little sister, and I want to go close the door because we had the door open. We had no AC or ceiling fan, so the rain will make the house fresh, right? Man, As I went to the door, I seen her coming around the corner of the house. And I shut down that, close that door. As I'm closing the door, uh, you could hear her crying right there by the door.
Yeah.
She's freaking wiggling the doorknob, and my mom's like, "Ay, Santa Maria Mario, está muerta, man." Saying the Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed is the fruit of the womb, Jesus. She's praying the prayer, and I was like, "Mom, do you want me to let her in?" No, what a pendejo. It's like, I was like, she was crying right there on the other side of the door that I was holding. Then after a while of her being there, she goes through the front of her home, through the link fence. She literally goes through the link fence. By then, you know how Mexicans are. We're all like nosy, trying to figure out things. So it's raining, and we all went outside, and we're looking. We see the Llorona in the distance going up the hill, and she takes the left. Next thing you know, you just hear like some brakes. Boom, you know. So we all go over there to see what's going on. And the truck driver, they were interrogating the truck driver, and they asked him, "How do you lose control of your vehicle? Were you high on some stuff?" And the guy told him, "No." They said, "I was driving. The reason I dodged her is because she got in the middle of the road. So I dodged her so I wouldn't hit her. That's how I lost control. The weight of the truck flipped it." But he said that she vanished, that she disappeared. But that's my story of La Llorona.
Yeah,
These
but
are,
every time that she would come by, somebody would die in that corner. He ran over. The people got run over. A kid, and I think some old people. She and that we would always see her. I didn't see her. I was the last one to get up, and everybody was already at the doorway. And I was like, "What's
no,
going?"
we seen her sister Madeline.
Yeah, I seen her one time when she passed through the door because this happened a lot of times. Not just the one time. We could always see her at night, but whenever she would come real close like that, somebody would always get killed in the corner. They would get run over on the same spot. Old people, little kids. It was bad. We already knew when we were hear her crying. We were like, "Oh shit, somebody's gonna die."
There was an old man that used to walk with a big beard. Every morning, there he goes walking he's walking through the blocks, right? And you hear it, like a loud thump. That old man, he got run over and he died. Remember, he had a white beard, bro.
Yeah, it was always in the corner by where the gas station was.
Yeah, we seen her, but she just wouldn't show her face. She had a veil over it. I think there was a portal there because right before that stop sign was where that thing disappeared, bro. The guy with the donkey leg, he disappeared right there. Remember, there used to be two little houses to the left, the Marroquines, and then a little house.
Yeah,
He disappeared right there. Oh, wow, we're already 2 hours and 25 minutes. Time flies when you're having a good time. When you seen her, what did you see, bro? When you seen her?
She looked like the moon. She would glow like the moon. That's I when I only saw. I remember one time I saw her when she passed by the window and was crying, and it was like a glow. She would glow like the moon. That's what I saw. How? What did you see when you saw her? That when she came to the door.
Old lady, man. I could hear. I don't know. To me, she was evil. There's one right here. Once I was driving down a road at night. Once I was driving with no husband in a car. Don't think we're married yet, and well, Pierce. It goes to Pierce in the back car. Yeah, uh, he's traveling pools. Yeah, I heard of that one. Other goes to the Pierce in the back. The vehicle. Marcus in the flesh. He said a UFO. He said a UFO in Dallas, bro.
I mean, you guys saw her when she was floated through the fence. I got there after that. When I, by the time I got to the door, I didn't see that. Y'all were just all crowding the doorway, saying that she went through the fence.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw what her body looked like. I remember you told me that she didn't have no legs. She was just floating.
Yeah. Never's Angel says a lot of people see her Athena. We're talking about Llorona's Marquez right now, La Llorona. Okay, we got a question here. Who is she? Okay. Well, the Llorona, she was a woman that had two children. She was separate. I think her husband had died, right, bro?
Her husband cheated on her, I think.
Yeah, I think her husband cheated on her. So she had met this guy. They started seeing each other, but the guy had a girlfriend, and yeah, the guy had a girlfriend, and she thought that the guy was gonna leave his girlfriend for her. That they're gonna get married, and the guy said no. So she lost it, and she blamed her children. and she drowned the children. So since she did an act of evil and went against God, God, I guess you could say, what would it be called, brother? God intervened and shit. Let me see. Yeah, she drowned her children, so God punished her to roam earth. You know, the creeks, rivers, lakes, looking for her children. That's why she says, "I." She's like, "I miss you
Yep, she's a
home."
lady in white.
Was it?
That's she said she's a lady in white. Yeah. When I saw her, she was like the moon. She glowed like that. The white. Yeah.
She's dressed in like in a white wedding dress because she thought she was gonna get married to the guy. So yeah, that she got punished to roam Earth, searching for her children. So she goes after children that are uh, not baptized, and not just children. I believe she goes after unfaithful men also.
Huh. That's weird that you say that. That she's in the wedding dress. I have two exes that said that they would see a woman in white
Yeah,
coming to me by my bed. Two of my exes, they both said that, and when I would
she
ask
said,
them,
Shelly, Ola said, "You sound wicked, Abe." I'm just mimicking the sounds.
yeah, you mimic it real good because we would hear it all the time. Shit.
La Huila, la Llorona,
I'm
la
glad,
leyenda de la Llorona.
bro. I'm glad that we don't live down there anymore. Shit.
It was hot and heavy there. Uh, I'll let you share a story. I'll be right back, bro. All right, whatever you want to share.
Yep, he does it exactly how it sounds, how we will hear it. That's how it would sound, just like he does it. Yeah, it's just like everything else. It's all just a DDN, and it manifests like that, and then you believe, and you're getting an opening.
Mhm.
I mean, we grew up around all of this, so it's like, and seeing these things and going through things at night, so it's like, and then now we know, no, it's it's just because we've seen all of this, now we know better. It's just a DDN, and it tries to get us to believe that it's real, and but it's just in disguise. It's BBN. Boy, be quiet. No, everybody, my brothers and sisters have, but no, not me. We, my little brothers and sisters, we would have to watch them because after that happened, they would they would be saying that they would see our mother at night by the tree, that it would be she would be calling them. So we would have to be locking the doors, making sure that they couldn't get out because they would only see her at night. So you know what that was.
My sister, we were the kids, my younger sister talking to her in the through the window.
Yep, because yep, they would see her. They would tell us that they would see her by the tree at night and that she would be calling them. So we would make sure that the doors were locked so that they couldn't get out.
Yo,
But it was only at night that they would see her. Say, "Oh yeah,
brujas and the chuzas.
yeah."
That's what that was.
Hmm. Yeah, I never heard of cartoon figures. Hmm.
All right, here I am.
Hey, bro, Shelly asked a question.
Court to figure is ghost. Mm,
Later, she says toy figures. Because at DDN, the evil spirits can go into anything, pictures, toys.
Dolls. Okay, let me catch up to the comments here. I mean, two little tacos, bro.
We could hear you.
Okay, I got a question for you. And they made movies of this. Uh, you talking about toy figures? Uh, would sex toys be considered as that? Would be because they're toys, right? So imagine some dude having like the dolls that they have now are realistic. They literally look like you know, like they did a whole body thing of a woman. And if imagine if something entered that as a vessel, kind of like it entered Annabelle, right? And it uses one of those uh,
Boy,
toys,
be quiet, boy.
like a succubus spirit or something, just to attack the person that bought it. It's possible, right? Like the like toys for kids, like dolls. Uh, Same thing, puppets. You know, the favorite toy, the favorite puppet. I think there's a lot of people that are being demonized like that. I know of a guy that is like that. That I'm talking about these toys. He said he's got three girlfriends. I was like, man, I was like, how do y'all get along? I mean, I've heard of people having three girlfriends, but golly, bro, that's that's a lot of women. Well, the girlfriend he's talking about are not real women. It is what are they called? What's the proper term for them? Is it called sex toys? I don't know. All I know, he's got three of them, and I pray for him because I feel he's being spiritually targeted. But he's got three. Get it?
Oh,
Three,
boy.
which would be demonic. I seen a show about a female said that she got married to the ghost of a pirate. That she fell in love with the ghost. What do you think about that, bro?
I don't know, bro.
How you gonna get in love with a ghost? Then you got there's this guy that's got a family that he's married and he's got a family, but the problem is the family that he has is all toys. Like the wife is like one of those toys, and the children, look are toys. That he's got a family and he's got a little baby, but they're all toys. They're like but big. Some crazy stuff right there. That dude is being bonded big time. There's people like that. There's people that think they pretend to be cheap, pretend to be vampires just because they drink some red fruit juice. They think they're vampires. There's some people think they're werewolves, But to me, those are people that are being spiritually targeted, and if nobody's telling them, hey man, you're not a vampire, hey man, you're not a werewolf. Well, in their minds, they're believing that they are because nobody's telling them the truth. Nobody's praying for them. No, because they're not praying for them. They're allowing them to be what they want to be. Uh, Things that we do that can affect not just us, others. There's people that think that. Well, I don't even want to bring that because I don't want to get targeted by the rainbow community. But yeah, there's a lot of people with a lot of issues. Just put it that way. I'll make it simple. There's a lot of people with a lot of issues. Uh, they need to come back to reality and see the error of their ways. You know, because there is a big difference between a heavenly love foundation and the woke foundation. Woke love. Woke love is living in sin, living against the commandments. That's not real love. That's a love of the flesh, which is a sin. What do you think, bro? I know you talked about the certain thing that God spared one time, the certain tribe, or the name of the tribe,
Oh, the Benjamites.
the Benjamites. Yeah. What was the deal with the Benjamites?
They were just gay, and their tribe was gonna die out, but God saved them. He told them to go get young girls from the festival so that they wouldn't die out because they're his children. He still loves them.
Marquez said he was a robot of Kelly from Safe for the Veil. You talking about Tiffany Timberson or something like that? I don't know, Marquez. Nowadays, the genders and shit. I hope you don't get the a robot of Screech.
Oh boy.
You know what we're talking about? You don't get a figurine of Screech and stuff. He passed away a couple of years ago. Yeah, flesh is a sin. Lust lusting in the flesh is a sin. Spiritual opening, succubus, incubus, you name it. Demons. Dang, yeah. Says some people will probably date the AI on their phone. It's crazy. You, Marquez, you're gonna get screeched. Didn't Screech make a porn or something like that called Screeched? And you won't get screeched by Screech. Well, here in Texas, there's no, they don't have none of that, right, bro? They did away with the porn. I know it's like that all over the United States, but in Texas, they don't do none of that stuff. Bounty, what did Bounty say? I would say that's wild, Bonnie. Wow. Yeah, he died. Screech is the name of a character from Saved by the Bell. Say, Marquez, you might want to check out the robot that just attacked the human. Okay, here's one for you. So we're talking about things that can affect you spiritually, physically, mentally. Mentally, how about uh, no? But that's part of fear. I was gonna say dying, right? Because a lot of people are afraid of dying, the fear of death. But we're trying to say something else, that things we do that can affect our spirits. I mean, our spirit or mind, and something that can harm us physically. How about let me see, messing messing around with Ouija boards, uh, of fortune cards and stuff like that. That would be things that can be dangerous if things start coming your way because you know you're affecting yourself and others because things are going to start happen to you that's going to affect you and change your ways. What do you think, bro?
Huh? What? Oh, I was trying to understand what the chat was saying. I just wasn't listening.
I'm saying messing around with the Ouija boards, tarot cards, all that thing that could be, you know, things that we do that can affect us in a negative way. I've heard it, I've seen it, but many people have been spiritually attacked when they mess with them Ouija boards.
Yep. Just like the.
Some
Yep.
mess around with the tarot cards, and bad things happen. What do you think, bro?
Well, yeah, because you're opening doorways. You're getting attachments because you think it's a game. He wants to come out. He's rattling his door.
Somebody says here, can you get rid of that energy when if they surround you? Yeah, I mean, you can tie binary wicked in Jesus Christ's name. It'll flee, but if there's a portal opening, it's there, and most of the times they cross over and they're amongst us because of the openings where that they used to call upon them. Oh, Jesse, what's his name? He said that they practice the occult. The occult, like that practice the occult. It's a personal decision.
Yep. It's everybody's decision what how you're going to live your life.
Okay, somebody's here saying that they work with something. They are to be played with lightly. They are masters of the dark, teachers of the dark. They were my teachers to overcome fear. I've never heard of them, Athena. I don't know. What are you talking about? Did they believe in Jesus Christ? Did this people believe in Jesus Christ? I mean, you're saying that you're masters, so you give them some kind of power. But I'm just asking a question. Do they believe in the power of Jesus Christ? Since we're talking about the stories of uh, she called them they're her masters and teachers of the dark. I run into people like that that think they remember the saying a what was it saying when somebody works a lot of different jobs, bro?
Oh, they can multitask.
No, like a jacks of all
They,
trade, but a master of none, or something like that.
oh,
Yeah, when you call somebody master, you're in like karate or something in the kung fu movies, or I don't know, was it Star Trek, Master Jedi's, or a master means your owner, right? Yeah, I never heard of them either. Wish Falls, Colorado. Oh, okay. Grand Master. Yeah, I mean, so was it that you were fearing that you had to go to a master? I mean, they helped. You said they helped you overcome a fear. So would it be considered like a curandera or curandero, bro?
I don't know. I never heard of that.
Yeah. Damn, we already hit the 3 hour marker, bro. I know. at 3:10 right now. I guess we can call it a night. Is there? We have to get back to that maybe later on tonight. Is there anything you would like to say to the viewers? And thank you, audience, for interacting with us and sharing the stories like that. That one of the masters. Ah, look what it says, bro. That it's a system of controlling demons, often depicted as uh,
Oh, I guess when you start reading the Black Book, the Dark Magic books.
so it's like black magic. If you're summoning demons, Journey, find the words you would like to say, bro, because I know you got a long day tomorrow with work and all. I want to say thank you to those that
Yep.
tuned in tonight.
Thanks everybody for being here, and uh, hit the like button. And thanks, bro.
Hit the like button on your way out. Trolls, uh, the runaway deer. Hit the like button before you leave. Runaway deer.
Oh,
Maybe,
all right, bro.
maybe we didn't see Dirty Ike over there to the camp because he's afraid of deers, so he can get rid of his demons. Thank you, Sister Shelley. Yeah, thank y'all for participating. Yeah, it's three something here in the morning right now. We've been on for 3 hours. See what we do for later on tonight. I just wanted to talk about this topic today, so that's why I placed it out there. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. In saying that, this is Brother Ipsias Sarncius signing off from Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Everybody have a blessed morning and day. Buenas noches, buenos días, buenas mañanas. Hasta la vista. Good night, everybody. Peace out.